Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
Hey, welcome back to the program. My name is Mike P. Waworski. I am your co-host today for the program. I am the co-host from the East Coast. That's the co-host with the most from the coast with the most. Here on the Rundown, two-way views, conservative news. It's hot here, Craig. How's things by you?
It's pretty hot here too, although it's cooler than it was. I mean, it's been 100 degrees all week, and today it's 97.
Well, so you got a little chill going on there.
Exactly. So
little
it's
front,
a little cold
front
snap.
rolling through.
Got to wear the hat because got a little cold snap going on.
We're at. I'm just trying to see what we're at right now. We're 102 right now. So
102.
But we got the humidity.
I imagine with the humidity, it's got to be even worse. It got to feel even worse.
Well, listen, I think they said it's 97 or 96, but it feels like 102. I got news for you, folks. If it feels like 102, it's 102. That's
pretty much.
Wait a second. So if I go outside, can I find a spot where it feels less? No. Then it's the higher temperature. Don't be a dumbass.
It's fun you say that because when I was on vacation last week, I was in a place. I was in Fiji, and it was in a place where they were saying, "Oh yeah, well it's only like 78, but it feels like 93." And trust me, it felt like 98. That humidity was just a killer.
I hear you, sir. I hear you. I know what it's like.
Anyway, so
folks, it gets a little steamy.
Steamy. It does. So today is Freedback Friday, which basically means that what we do is we conversate with you guys. We pay attention to. This is the day where we pay attention to the things that you folks are saying to us, and if we like what you're saying, then you'll get a nice free gift.
We converse with them. I don't know what that word is you said, but we'll have a conversation. But I won't be making up words with you anyway. So.
Okay. We will express whatever opinions you share. We shall express them on the program. So take a moment, go to our Facebook page, go to our YouTube page, wherever. Well, let me put it this way. Now, wherever you are commenting, we will be able to see it. So just so you know, at least let me put it this way. I will be able to see it. If you want Mike you want to make sure Mike sees it during the show, make sure you do it on the Facebook page. Just saying.
I mean, I've written your name on a bathroom wall before. I don't know if we can see all the comments.
Interesting stuff. All right. Well, hey, by the way, however you are watching us, whether you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, whether you're watching us on one of the many different pages that we broadcast this show on, or whether you're watching us on Spotify or you're just listening to the program, wherever you get your podcasts, please make sure that you subscribe. Please make sure that you encourage your friends to do the same. This is the place where you're going to get the news in a way in which you're not going to get it from anybody else. Good stuff.
Boy.
Good stuff.
Man, I had a couple of comments there. Just couldn't do it.
I know.
Couldn't do it.
I know.
Trying to keep some of the listeners.
I know you did. Anyway, well, let's jump right into the news today. For those of you who believe that there is equal justice, let us just say right now that when it comes to politics, there is no such thing as equal justice. Republicans or conservative candidates or conservatives who are involved in politics will not get the same sort of justice that anyone else gets. Whether it's being arrested or charged and arrested and tried for contempt of Congress, which, by the way, Republicans don't do to Democrats. Democrats don't do to Democrats, but Democrats clearly do to Republicans. Or it's if you're a candidate and you are running for office and you are attacked, much how Larry Elder was, who was running for governor in a special election here in the state of California. He was attacked. Now, this is a black man, a black conservative, but a black man was attacked by a woman in a gorilla mask. And most of the media ignored it, right? And then everyone refused to call it a hate crime. But yet and still, it got ignored. I don't know what happened to the lady, but anyway, so that's what happened. Well, it's happening again, folks. There is a candidate. His name is Lee Zeldin. He's a Republican candidate for governor in the state of New York. He was attacked on stage. I mean, we're talking in front of a bunch of people. He was attacked on stage. at a campaign stop near Rochester, New York. And Mike, here's the thing. So he was attacked. The guy attacked him with a knife, attempted to stab him, right? Dude attempted to stab him. If it hadn't been for the fact that he was able to block the initial attack, and then when the guy came back after him, other people were able to grab him. If it weren't for that fact, who knows? He might be dead right now. But they took the guy into custody, Mike, and he's already been released on his own recognizance. And what's even funnier is that Zeldin, after it happened, said, "Yeah, with New York's law right now, their laws on sentencing and their laws on bail and release, the chances are they'll let him go." And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, if you see the story, pay attention to the story. I don't know if we got more pictures in there. It was one of those kitty cat knife deals. It had two blades that come out of it. It's two fixed, like triangles that come out. You could punch somebody with it. It's two blades rather than one, like just a regular knife. It definitely could mess you up. And it looks like it was like the slowest speed attack ever, because they got to picture him like standing there in front of candidate Zeldin, who's actually a sitting congressman, by the way. Yeah, they're standing there having the conversation, and Zeldin puts the cross arm block up there. You can see lightning fast reflexes. And then they have, I think there's another picture of the implement of the weapon itself, which is clearly a bladed edged weapon. And it's there it is right there. You can see it. It's one of those little kitty cat palm deals. And I say kitty cat not to make it sound less threatening. That's still a giant hunk of metal, with two sharpened edges on it. So meant to be used as a weapon. They're designed to be used as a weapon. It's like half a brass knuckles kind of thing. So yeah, Craig, this is ridiculous. He's sitting U.S. Congressman. He was up there at a VFW. I think they were putting a rally on. It looked like it was an outdoor rally, and yeah, you're just going to let him go. I mean, listen, he's also a sitting congressman, okay? That's federal charges right there. But he's a Republican congressman, so they have no charges. They have no charges put against him.
But what's funny is, not they were just going to they just let him go. He's out on his own recognizance.
Oh, yeah, they didn't go they didn't do fly be free. It was they processed him in and released him on his own recognizance under New York state law. They didn't charge him under the federal standard for attacking a sitting U.S. congressman, right? So he could have gone down much, much differently after that. But Craig, all they're doing, and a couple of our stories today deal with it. The Democrats are just fueling the beating they're going to take when it comes September, comes November. I'm sorry. The Republicans are sitting back. Listen, I watched the prime time. Circus going on last night up in DC, and was like, did they not realize every time they get up there and lie, it means we're going to throat punch them come November? Like for the next 2 years, going to totally shut them down, completely shut them out. Did they not understand that?
But okay, so just the one thing that I get regarding that, and my whole thing is this, with it when it comes to that is, let's say they're not lying. Let's say he didn't do it. He didn't do what people thought he should have done when it came to trying to end the violence, right? End what was going on at the Capitol, right? Well, number one, first of all, we know they're lying because, they keep saying cops died and no one died. Literally, the only person who died as a result of January 6th was the unarmed Trump supporter who was shot by a Capitol policeman. All right? That are not doing anything. I still don't understand how what he did constitutes an illegal act that needs to be investigated.
Well, it doesn't. Again, they're just trying to keep keep the focus on big bad orange man. That's all they're trying to do.
And yet still you have people who are both in Congress and people who are in the Senate who are saying blasphemous things, who are saying really outrageous things, and you have a conservative justice whose life has been threatened. Now you have a Republican gubernatorial candidate, a sitting congressman an attempt has been made on his life. And yet nobody's holding these Democrats accountable. All I'm saying is, and by the way, these are real threats. These are actual armed individuals seeking to do harm to elected officials. And all I'm saying is what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? Shouldn't they be held accountable for the stuff that they're saying and doing?
I agree. I 100% agree. But they're not, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. You know, and when it comes back around in November, the and here's what I really think is going to happen. The ringleaders will be gone, right? We know, like Liz Cheney at this point, she's 20 points behind, her Democrat opponent or her
Mm-hmm.
Republican opponent that's running against her in the primary. So we know she's done. But you're going to see a lot of that with the ringleaders. Now, all these other ones that are sitting along, going along, all these Democrats or these rhinos. I think the way that the conservatives are going to deal with them after November is just going to be like pretend they're not even in the room. Don't even
Yeah.
ask them anything for decisions. They don't even worry about if they're there to call a vote. Just literally, we'll have the numbers. We don't care what they say at all.
Yep. Yep. Nope. Anyway, so yeah, folks. So just understand that being a conservative, if you are a Republican and you're hoping for equal justice, yeah, that stuff doesn't happen. Not here in these United States. Just there is no right now. There is no real justice. There's no equal justice. There is political retribution. And by the way, just so you know, I'm not supportive of the idea of once Republicans take over that we do the exact same stuff that they did. I think that where things clearly were done illegally and have caused harms, yes, there should be investigations. And if someone if it turns out that they've done stuff untoward or illegal, then they ought to be held accountable. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have those sorts of hearings, but what we're seeing happen right now is nothing more than using the criminal justice system to enact political revenge. Right.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, moving right along. You guys remember? I think it was last week. We told you a story about here in Tulare County, in Tulare County, California. Some guys were arrested, or they were arrested with a boatload of fentanyl. I mean, a gang of fentanyl. I think it was something like 150,000 tablets of fentanyl, which I mean could kill millions, tens of millions of people. That's how much fentanyl there was. Well, they were released,
50,000 pills. Yeah.
but yeah, they were
150,000
released
pills.
by
Yeah.
a judge, right? They were released by a judge, right? No bail, right? They were released by a judge. And now, Mike, those very same people, well, they were released and they were told, hey, you got to show up, make sure you show up to court. Guess what happened, Mike?
Wait, you're telling me Jose Zendejas and Bonito Madrigal didn't show up? I bet they didn't even check their IDs. Bet they didn't even check their immigration status. I bet they just took their word for it that they'd show up to deal with 150,000 pills or $750,000 seizure. I bet you they just took their word for it, Greg.
Pretty much, they just showed up. They just took their word for it. Yeah. See, we will show up. And then
Yes,
they
man,
didn't show
we'd
up.
be there. We'd be there. It's a pinky swear.
I
pinky
am
swear.
shocked and surprised, mind you, that because I'm sure that these were fine, upstanding citizens who were simply seeking to live the American dream. I am shocked and surprised. I say shocked that simply because they were in possession of 150 pills of fentanyl, well, that's all they had. So clearly, they're upstanding citizens and should have been trusted. And I'm shocked that they deemed that they didn't show up.
Yeah, it's California, right? Listen, you make these laws, and you honestly believe that they're working. Well, it's too harsh to put bail reform or to have bail on people. That's punishing, and we're just penalizing them because of their financial status and their racial status. So we're going to release them, and they're good people. They'll be back, and we know they will. They'll do the right thing. So that's just like we say guns, right? Oh, if a bad guy finds a gun, they'll just turn it in. They'll put it down. It'll be all right.
Oh no. A bad guy they'll obey the gun-free zone signs and they're not going to bring a gun into a gun-free zone because, well, they're good people. They're actually, let me clarify. They're victims. They're victims of that mean, nasty gun.
They are victims a bad orange man for putting up the fence or putting up the
Right.
wall.
Exactly. Well, hey, by the way, I just taking a step back real quick. I found the video of the attack. Here, I'm gonna put it up here so we can watch it.
Oh, there we go.
Here
Yep.
we go. Bam. So here's the guy. Okay, so that's Lee Zelder sitting up there talking. I don't know how long this video is, but so that you can see he's like standing on a trailer. The guy is standing back there. So all right. So where's the dude at? Come on, man. Speed up the video. See, they're trying
Well, they
to get
want
more.
to, you know,
They're trying to get more time on. Oh, there he is, right there. Look, boom, walks up, gets in his face.
look at that big tactical move.
There you go. Bam, down he went. Okay, all I can say is, I'm not saying it was staged, but that looked staged.
I'm not saying. I'm just.
I'm not
I'm listening
saying.
to you.
I'm just saying. I don't. I
I'm not
honestly,
a
I just think
conspiracy
dude was nuts.
guy,
I don't think it was
but I
staged.
am
I think dude was nuts and probably maybe did not intend to harm him, but wanted to scare him, wanted to threaten him, which by the way is a crime. And still shouldn't have been released. Dude should have, at the very least, if you believe that, then dude should have at least been on a 72-hour hold. They should at least done some.
72-hour hold by his 10 toes. That's how they should have held him. Inverted, because I was inverted.
Because I was inverted. There you go. There you go. Nice Top Gun reference. But yeah, so getting back to, that guy got released. You know, these guys will get released. And I wonder if that guy's I wonder if he's going to show up in court when they tell him to show up.
He is, but he's going to show up in court. He's going to show up in California court to answer for fentanyl.
Wrong case.
So you're going to see the paperwork got crossed in the mail. It's one thing led to another. You know,
right.
They thought they were going to, feed the homeless. They ended up at a strip joint.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I was funny because I was looking at the stories today, and if you look at the next story, we could have literally just titled this episode "Catch and Release," because this next story, now this one is actually kind of interesting because it actually shows that there is a benefit to being able to release these folks, or when you release these folks. So you have TSA has basically made a statement in there. In their statement, one of the things that they noted was, it hasn't happened often, but they noted that 1,000, because basically they've been putting these guys on planes and sending them all across the country. And even when you're getting on these commercial flights, they have to be, you got to show ID. So they have about 1,000, or they say under 1,000 illegal immigrants have been allowed to board planes with arrest warrants as their IDs. Meaning they got arrested for entering the country illegally. They were issued a bench warrant or an arrest warrant, and they were using those as IDs in order to get on the plane. I don't know, man. I got nothing.
So here's what I would say. Because and I read this story a couple of times. That would imply that the feds are saying, "Oh, this guy's got a warrant. Put him on a plane to Indiana. Let them deal with it, or put him on a plane to Ohio. Let them deal with it." I would. Here's what I would tend to believe is really going on, Craig. This is just my theory because I've seen this before. We used to run into people that had a printout of their jail ID, and it would be about a 4x6 card. It looked like an oversized identification. It was their picture and all their details and their jail inmate number, and it was a blow up of their inmate ID card basically, and you got one of those when you got released. And if you had no other ID, that's what you had, and you'd see guys using that for 6 months because that was all they had for ID was their jail card. So it makes it sound like that might be what this is, because I can't believe they're giving them warrant paperwork and letting them go to different jurisdictions. That's just first of all, warrants are just a couple of pieces of paper.
Right.
That's all it is.
Well, but the point is that they're putting these folks on planes, and now my question is I sincerely doubt that if you were a released convict if you were released, they would allow you to use your prison ID, a photocopy of your prison ID, to get on a plane. But that's what they're doing. My point is, what they're doing here is allowing them to use those arrest warrants to get on planes in order to transport them to other parts of the country.
Well, we've already seen that. Remember, these are not commercial flights they're boarding, right? They're putting them on contract flights, and they're landing in the middle of the night and letting them go. So you don't need an ID. You're just being pulled from custody of one place, dragged to the airport, put on the plane, and then and they're bringing them up through the
apparently,
the
well, put it to you this way. Maybe that's the reason why TSA is allowing it, but evidently these guys, all these folks are going through TSA checks, and they're going through the same exact things, even though they're not on commercial flights. You're right; they're not saying that they are on commercial flights, but evidently they're still going through the same TSA checks that we go through when we get on a commercial flight.
Well, they don't want anything wrong to go on a plane. TSA is still going to do their job. They're just going to waive the whole got to have an ID thing because they're in the custody of another federal agent.
Right. Well, yes and no. Anyway, I just find it hilarious that once again,
it's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious.
You get additional benefits if you happen to enter the country illegally.
Yeah. Yep.
Free transportation to the city of your choice, or to the liberal city of your choice, and don't even have to show your ID.
But if that was the problem, it would be all right. But I know that they've had these planes land in like Jacksonville, Florida, right? I know that they've happened. They've come to red towns, and they do it in the middle of the night, and they don't say when. That's the problem. I know our governor down here has said, drop them here in Florida again. I'll put them all on a damn bus to Dover, Delaware. Let them live in the president's backyard.
Oh, that is hilarious. Okay.
And our governor does it right. He doesn't say, I'll give you money, get on the plane. He says, get on the bus, and when you get there, there'll be a guy with a check for you, They'll be handing out the bills at the other end. There you go. Come on up, collect, That's how you do it.
All right.
Biden knows how to bribe people, right?
If you're going to do it right.
Yeah.
All right. Now this next story is about a gun story. So this story I actually came across dealing with one of my media clients, and one of the stories that they were putting out there was this story about this gun study, and they know that I do gun stuff, and so I go and this story about the study, and what this study did was it was specifically focusing on and targeting and talking about it was talking about Black homicide victimization, right? Here, I'll pop this over to you. So that's the study right there. Now, all one need to know about how off this study is to look at who did it. The Violence Policy Center. Now, Mike, what do you know about the Violence Policy Center?
That it is completely one-sided, Greg. You want to guess which side it comes from?
Definitely not the side that is advocating for the Second Amendment,
or facts,
facts. Yeah, they're not
side
interested.
That believes in facts.
They're only going to look at data and facts that comes from or a position that will support what they believe. And it was funny because there's a publisher, a distribution, a news source, what do you want to call it, a newswire, that put this information out there, that put this study out there and literally quoted it verbatim in a number of different cases. Now, here's what's interesting about this particular study. This is one of the web pages it was on. So in the study, they noted that in 2019, and I want you guys to see this real quick, 2019, right? This is once again, the DC-based Violence Policy revealed in 2019. They say that this data comes from the FBI, right? That they recorded 7,441 Black homicide victims, right? Now, when one actually goes to the data, now this is from the FBI, right? This is their data, right? If you notice, these are the total number of homicides that took place, right? Now, you could do the math in your head, but I'm willing to bet that if you did, you would realize that when you add together the total number of homicides, it doesn't equal the number of black people they say were killed in total. So starting off, they fabricate numbers. And when I confronted the publisher on this, they basically said, well, you know, the people who did the study admitted in the study that the FBI missed a lot of data, missed a lot of them. You know, because there were some out there that, well, they didn't necessarily know the cause of death, so they didn't record it as a homicide. I said, but they more than doubled the number of homicides of just black people, let alone the total number of homicides. Now, here's another interesting statistic that they left out. So if you look at this data and you can compare right here. So this is the race of the offender and this is the race of the victim. So when you go down here to African American and then you look at, so there were, of the total 2,906 African Americans who were victims of homicide, 2,574 were black. The people who attempted to kill them or killed them were black. Now here's the funny part about it, Mike. This is the hilarious part. Is that basically a black person is more likely to be involved in the murder of another black person than is a gun.
You mean an individual versus an inanimate object?
Yes.
Because we got guns running around there rampant killing people. Isn't that the
Right.
point of their story, right, Craig? That the guns are killing people and the amount of
Right.
people. We know that they lie again. Again and again and again. We know they lie about these numbers. You see this happen all the time. Especially when you're comparing uniform crime reports and FBI reports. There's no verification on those, even when they are sent up. So a large metropolitan Democrat-based agency will send up biased numbers because they want it to read a certain way, because they want that outcome for court, whatever reason. These numbers are just an absolute farcical. It's crazy.
Well, and here the funny part is you go on and you read other parts of the studies, they attempt to claim that only 10% of homicides against black people involve gangs or drugs. Now, it's odd because that is completely and 100% different from any other data or any other study or information that has ever been out there. In other words, what they're saying is, these are just people, they know each other and they just have issues. And Mike, I am apoplectic. I am beside myself with how inaccurate or how off this data is. And once again, though, it's trying to perpetuate a lie that says that guns are the problem, not the people. That people aren't the problem. It's guns that are the problem. And
every story, Craig. Every story. It's not about the people. It's about the guns. Every story.
Right.
Got to get the guns off the street. I wonder what would happen to, like, if remember MADS against Mothers Against Drunk Drivers?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what would happen if they just went out and started towing cars.
Yeah.
We're just taking cars.
Right.
We're getting rid of these drunk cars. We're getting rid of them.
People if drunks didn't have cars, they couldn't hit nobody. They couldn't kill anyone.
That's right. So we're going to get rid of the drunk cars.
We need to get rid of drunk cars.
That's all that ethanol. Glug.
Talking about
corn
blaming
liquor,
the
you
gun.
know what I'm saying?
Talking about blaming the gun. All right. I don't know if you watched any of the assault weapons hearing, but I got to tell you. Now, first of all, let's be clear. When they say assault weapon,
you mean the insurrection hearings or the assault weapon hearings?
Oh, this the assault weapon. The ban where they passed the bill to ban.
Gotcha.
When they talk about assault weapons, what they are talking about are semi-automatic center fire rifles.
Yes.
With detachable magazines.
Incorrectly they're calling them assault weapons. Yes.
Yes, and incorrectly they are referring to them as assault weapons, as opposed to assault rifles, which are a thing, which happen to be fully automatic, and most people cannot. I mean, you got to have a special license to be able to possess one.
Yep.
It's not. Trust me, it ain't an easy license to get. You're in the industry if you have one of those. But yet and still, they're they're banning. They're banning. By the way, it also happens to be the most commonly owned firearm in the country. Well,
Yeah,
one of the
very
interesting
true.
things was listening to some of the gun grabbers their references. Uh, Listening to one of the folks and their references talk about this particular issue or talk about assault weapons. And I got to tell you, whenever it's someone who knows absolute, has no idea what they're talking about actually starts talking about guns, it becomes hilarious. And
Oh
this
yeah,
was
like the
actually
shoulder thing that
posted
goes up.
online. She actually posted this herself. Representative Lucy Macbeth. With assault rifles, exit wounds can be a foot wide. The victim's skull explodes on impact. Organs rupture, bones shatter, and the shards sever as shrapnel and tear tissue to pieces. There is a reason we never see the images of a mass murder. Their bodies no longer exist.
Oh yeah, Craig, happens all the time. The bodies just go poof. They go poof. They got
My
them lung
body
blower
go-
out. They, they got them lung blower out rounds that come through and
Lung blower out of rounds.
just everything.
Well, no, now those,
Yeah.
yeah, those are the semi-autumn. Those are the assault handguns, the nine
Yes, the assault
millimeter
handguns.
assault
Yes.
handguns with the lung blower
Yes.
outers.
Yep. 9 millimeter. Yes. Yeah. Listen, they're idiots. They're morons. We know this over and over again. The problem we have to deal with now is determining their idiots from our idiots, right? Because we get those people up there that, oh, that sounds like a good idea. You're like, no, sir, that's not a good idea, or no, ma'am. Then you have to have the Second Amendment conversation with them, and then maybe you get somewhere. But when you come in with your baseline of that's your gun knowledge, yeah, maybe we should just pass a law, whatever state she's from, they don't carry guns.
Well, and that's the part. That's a big part of the challenge. Is how do we have a conversation? It's like they say they want to sit down, they want to talk, and they want to have a conversation. How do you have a conversation with someone when the difference in knowledge base and understanding of the technology is one side is completely and utterly idiotic? And I say idiotic because that's idiotic. That's not just wrong. That is idiotic.
Yeah.
How
What the
do
maroon?
you have a
Yeah.
conversation with someone who believes that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you can. I mean,
No.
I'm thinking, how can you? I really don't think you can. I think you have to do what we just talked about. We're going to do when come November when they want to, after they lose and they're sitting there, when they want to have a conversation and it starts with lung blower outers and bodies disappearing. You just shake your head and you go, no, I'm not doing this. Sorry, goodbye. Send me an email or something. Not doing this with you.
Right, right. We have a comment from Portia Stewart. She said, well, if they ban assault weapons, they must ban all video games where players use them to commit mayhem and destruction. Uzi, 9mm Glocks, Tech 9s, the gangbangers' guns of choice. Actually, even
Plasma rifle,
gangbangers, the
40
gun of
left range.
choice is the handgun. It is the semi-automatic handgun.
The gag.
Bang, bang.
Bang
But
bang.
yeah,
Said the donkey.
the point is if we're gonna have this conversation, then let's at least try to have it from the same knowledge base. Let's try to have knowledgeable people on both sides. And by the way, you do have Republicans who are the exact same way, who really don't know or understand what they're talking about. And I know this because I've talked to them, and they think that because they have an
Yeah.
R after their name, we're supposed to just assume that it's a given that they are pro gun, and they are not. They are simply
That's right.
utilizing the Second Amendment as a way in which to get people to vote for them.
The
To be
gun rights
frank, that's
battle is not a Democrat or Republican issue.
No.
It's an individual issue, whether it's the individual in possession or the individual saying, no, you can't have it.
Yes.
And it's your job to do your due diligence and go out there and find which one of these representatives is anti-gun, and then you need to be anti that representative.
Right. Exactly. All right, Mike. Well, hey, it's about that time for us to give a shout out to our sponsors.
Let's say hello to our good friends over there at uscombatgear.com. We got California Public Assembly. I spoke to our good friends at Grid Defense today, and then of course, hello to our friends at Gorilla Machining, as always.
As we know, links to their websites are in the description to this program. So all you gotta do is follow the link. If you like what you see there, please make it a point to spend some money with them, and then make sure you tell them that the guys over at the Rundown sent you. It's been a hoot. We've had a phenomenal week. I thank you guys for being patient with us as I have returned from vacation. But please make sure like, share, subscribe, and encourage your friends to do the same.
There you go.
With that, have a good weekend. Talk to you again on Monday. Fun day.
See you
Fun
Monday.
day.
Real quick.
Dude, I got to tell you, man, on this, there are a couple of times I'm looking at you, you either look intoxicated or like you're falling asleep.
No, I'm looking down trying to read.
Oh.
I want to because I've got another monitor right here, Craig.
Uh-huh.
Right here where my camera is.
Right.
But anytime I plug that in, it stops working. So I'm trying to read the little comments down here at this level. So
right. Hey,
this is my reading level.
I got to take this call real quick.
Okay.
Just a second. Hello. Hello, this is Craig. Yes.
Hey Siri, call Terry.
I'm just fine. If I still had a what on my solar system? I don't know. I don't know if I still have a lock on it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't. I have no idea if it was locked or not. I have no idea how to even check. Okay. Hey, hey, Mike, I'll be right back. Hold on, I gotta. Let me go check it out. All right. Just for note on for future reference, Please tell your people do not come on my property ever again.
Craig.
All right. Thank you.
Craig.
What's
Hey,
up?
Craig. Yeah, we're still live.